Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Gaza! Free, free Gaza! Free, free Gaza! Free, free Gaza! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Gaza! Free, free Gaza! Free, free Gaza! Free, free Gaza! From the river to the sea! From the river to the sea! From the river to the sea! Palestine will be free! From the river to the sea! Palestine will be free! From the river to the sea! Palestine will be free! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Gaza! Free, free Gaza! Free, free Gaza! Free, free Gaza! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Gaza! Free, free Gaza! Free, free Gaza! Free, free Gaza! Down, down Israel! Down, down Israel! Down, down Israel! Down, down Israel! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Down, down United States! Down, down United States! Down, down United States! Down, down United States! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Down, down USA! Down, down USA! Down, down USA! Down, down USA! From the river to the sea! Palestine will be free! From the river to the sea! Palestine will be free! From the river to the sea! Palestine will be free!
As we stand here tonight, the mass murdering Netanyahu, the Prime Minister of Israel, coming, that's right, having discussions with the collaborating, unelected President of the Palestinian Authority, Mahmoud Abbas, apparently for peace protesters. But we know the truth, that both of these two mass murdering people that are peace with apartheid and occupation do not care about Palestinian lives. And we're here to protest against the suffering that will continue. As we went about our work today, Palestinians were still locked in the Gaza siege, a torturous prison camp. 1.5 million people still live trying to go about their lives in blood-stained rubble, haunted by the memories of the massacre that happened almost 2 years ago. As we stand here tonight, Palestinians are suffering under apartheid laws that are designed to suffocate their social freedoms and expression, to enforce poverty and try to enforce them out of their own land. This very second, millions of Palestinian refugees in refugee camps across the Middle East are lingering with no hope, no opportunities, and no rights, and with no dreams. But as a Palestinian, I know exactly what we can do here tonight in Australia, and that's make some noise, because we're not going to put up, we're not going to stand passive while Israel continues to oppress the most victimized population on the earth today, and we're not going to stand passive while our government gives blood-stained support for the mass murdering Israel. My name is Jamil Sabah. I'll be chairing this evening. I'm a second-generation Palestinian and a member of Students for Palestine. And we're going to have a number of speakers tonight. And the first person speaking is Alex Whitson. If he's around, if you could come up. He's the new public advocate for Australians for Palestine. So everyone here should welcome Alex Whitson.
Thank you very much. Now, I've got to say at the outset that I'm feeling very emotionally drained. Many of you here have just come from the forum that I've just attended, where Ahmed Luqman and his wife Jerry Campbell spoke very, very movingly, very passionately about their experiences on the Gaza Freedom Flotilla. for their troubles of attempting to deliver tons of humanitarian aid to the besieged people of Gaza. They were attacked, they were kidnapped, they were assaulted by an elite naval commando unit in international waters, by a naval unit that was protecting an illegal blockade of Gaza, and for his troubles, Ahmed was shot in the leg. Now, we must applaud these people, and I think what we're doing here today is just a small gesture, compared to what Ahmed and Jerry did, and what they did is a small gesture compared to the sacrifice and the bravery and the heroism of the people who struggle in Gaza and the West Bank every day to resist the occupation. Now, it's rare that we can be witness to history, and it's rarer still that we can be key participants in history-making events. But I think it's true to say, I don't think it's hyperbole, and I don't think it's an overstatement, that we are witness to and we are key participants in history-turning, history-transforming events. Make no mistake, the situation in Palestine, the conflict in Israel-Palestine, is the central fault line in the world today. In the same way that Berlin was the centre of the world during the Cold War, the Israel-Palestine conflict is the central fault line of the world today. Whether you look at it from a religious perspective, whether you look at the extreme cultural significance for all of humanity of the holy sites and the cultural sites and the archaeological sites in Jerusalem, whether you look at it from a human rights perspective and the ongoing brutalisation and oppression of the Palestinian people, their torture and imprisonment and murder and the dispossession of their land and their homes and their farms, whether you look at it from a political perspective, this is the central fault line of the world today. So when our opponents, when the Zionists say, well, why do you pick on Israel? Well, actually, take your pick. There's a whole host of reasons to pick on Israel. And one of the reasons we pick on them, if you want to use that language here in Australia, and some people I think don't understand why we're out protesting here today, why we continue to hold protests like this in Australia. The reason we're doing it, it's very, very important that we're clear on this, very important we understand this. The reason we're doing this is because the Australian government, the Australian state, is the principal diplomatic, economic and military pillar of support for the Zionist state in the Southern Hemisphere. Our job as activists, our job here and our job moving into the future, and our movement is growing, make no mistake, this is a real movement now, this is, has a historic flavour to it, this has a special feeling to it. You should all feel empowered and strengthened today that this is a real movement, that we're part of a global movement for the liberation of Palestine, and our job here in Australia is to knock out that pillar of support for Israel in the Southern Hemisphere, because if we can knock out that pillar of support, we'll have struck a genuinely important and significant blow for the struggle for Palestinian self-determination. Make no mistake, we're not wasting our time here. We here in the Southern Hemisphere, we might be thousands of miles away, but make no mistake, we have a very, very important role to play. If you look at UN Security Council votes, consistently, again and again and again, it's the United States, it's the Marshall Islands, it's a number of other Micronesian US satellite states, and it's Australia that consistently vote down resolutions in the General Assembly that actually condemn Israeli atrocities. Shame on the Australian government! So, make no mistake, I'm going to repeat myself. I'll make no apologies for repeating myself. Be very clear that we have an important role to play here, and be very clear that we are not wasting our time, that we might only be a few hundred of us here, but that we are part of a global movement that has a special flavour to it, a historic feeling to it. I just wanted to end my comments on the principal theme, if you like, of the rally, which is the upcoming Freedom Flotillas. Israel, through its actions, as we've seen, particularly in the last year and a half, again and again and again, through its own criminal actions, it actually catalyses and galvanises the international movement against Zionist oppression and against Israeli apartheid. And of course, one of the ways in which it's galvanised that movement is through the raid on the Mavi Marmara and the Gaza Freedom Flotilla. And it was in the wake of that murderous raid that we've seen an absolute explosion of flotillas. It's quite to the point where it's difficult to keep up with them all. There were ships from Libya, there were ships from Lebanon.